Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Ranger Devlog. This is the third episode. It's been a little while, so let's just dive right in. Anyways, I haven't really worked that much on Ranger, but recently I've gone back into it. For a while, I thought that with the new Unity 2020 update, that some of the game broke, and it did for a while. I had updated it because I wanted to get some of the new features, and I didn't realize that, like, I don't know exactly what happened, but some of the files, I guess, got corrupted, and it just wouldn't work anymore. And so I had to figure out how to fix that, and for the longest time I couldn't. So I ended up just creating a new project because my collisions, 2D collisions, were just not working in my game. So I opened up a new Unity file, I created a brand new project, and I tested the collisions, and they worked. So I finally decided to just create a new project and import all the workable stuff from my previous project, Unity project, into this one, and that's what I did. So here we are. Now we've got everything imported, and it gave me a chance to really try to figure out a little more some of the mechanics I wanted, like the chunk loading. Everything, the infrastructure I had already built was not really lending itself to chunk loading and all that stuff. So this one, on play, it creates chunks. So I set it to 4 chunks, and I decided to try to put some variations and create some rules on how the chunks load in, which kind of work and for the most part are broken. So what I did is I created 4 prefabs. One where the ground was just dirt, another where it was dirt to snow, another one all snow, and the last one snow to dirt. I created a string called previous chunk that would check the tag, and I tried the multi-tagging system that we've already established in the past, and I tried that. That didn't seem to work, so then I was trying just tags as a last-ditch effort, and that still doesn't work. But pretty much I created a string called previous chunk, and if the previous chunk was, say, normal, then it has only one other kind of chunk that it can put in. It's chilling, so from the normal to the snow. And if it's chilling, then it can only go to cold, and if it's cold, only to warming, and if it's warming, only to normal, and so on and so on and so on. So theoretically, it should go from normal to getting to the transition to get cold to cold back to normal, and that's how it should be transitioning through the world. But for some reason it doesn't work, and so I've tried messing around with it like so many times. I just don't know what's exactly wrong with it. I'm sure there's something in this for loop that I'm not checking for, or I'm not sure, but for some reason it just does not want to filter. And so yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on, just some little modifications here and there, trying to make things better. So the chunks, they load in, but they're not weather specific. The next thing I'm going to test is to see if I can create landscape values to see if I have a cliff. Will it be able to continue the cliff and roll it off, or will it match it with a flat terrain? So that's the next step. It doesn't really work. So I don't know exactly where I'm going wrong, but I understand why it's creating these clones. I didn't fully integrate it properly, but it should still be following the rules, which it isn't. If I were to pause this and then remove these chunks from existence, it still doesn't follow the rule. So it doesn't really seem like it's working. So right now I'm starting to realize we might have to do this whole game by hand. Also, the layer jumping, I was never really able to figure that out in the chunk system, how to assign those. There's no real easy way to do that. So for now, we're gonna keep going the handcrafted route. We gotta do with what we've got, so that's what we're gonna do. Working. Now all the collisions work. I realized that what went wrong is under Game Manager. I had put these the layers. I put the wrong ones in, and so that messed it all up. But I went through a lot of different processes, and I realized all the multi-tags were messed up for here when I imported them. So I fixed those also. So now it should be fully functional. Interesting. Also, the colors down here aren't quite right. I don't know what's making that color change. Okay, but the cave's not working. I don't know why. I'm gonna have to, let me check it out. Okay, I figured out why the cave wasn't opening. One of the things I did when I recreated this project is I created this little flag on each of the levels. So layer 0 first means that if I'm already on the first layer, that it won't cycle through. That way it saves a bit on the processing. And so that is why this doesn't work. So pretty much what I think I'm gonna have to do is create a, at the bottom here, there should be a on trigger stay right here. And already it's on sky. So if that's true, overworld is true. So I'm gonna have to create an on stay, and then in the update to just change the color when it changes. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. All right, guys, so I decided on the caves, we're going to remove the whole orthographic thing. At least we're gonna try. And I know that was a lot of work to get the orthographic view working and everything, but I think what I wanna do is, if you enter a cave above other layers, instead of turning white over there for the sky, when you switch layers, it'll actually just be black, the slate color. And I think that will help. I think that will be better. That way, the main reason that we had to go into orthographic is because perspective was kind of shifting like that, and you could see outside, and it was gonna be really weird. But I think I can figure out a way to, instead of the sky layer, having something else when entering the cave above that layer. So only this layer would have the sky. The other layers wouldn't. Instead, they would be all black in the background. That way it would look like we were in the middle of this gigantic cave. And we would have this wall on the outside. But when we're here looking at it, we would see that wall. But then when we're inside the cave, instead we would actually see the wall from the inside, and just some darkness in the back. And I think that would help sell the cave feeling. And I also changed a little bit the jumping, the way we do jumping. So now when he jumps up just one level, it won't change the camera view, which means we won't really be hitting the roof. We might be hitting the roof back there, but we'll have to figure out something for that when we get to it. So it might create some issues, but I'd like to try it. Okay guys, so I've done a few things. First off, I implemented the day and night cycle again, and it's going pretty quick right now. So you can tell it's day now, and then it's going to turn back to night. Also, all the little in-between tiles, the decoration tiles here, have been put in, and they work properly now. I also added back in the mountains and their responsive scaling that I created. There's something I wanted to show you guys with the player camera. All right, so this is the player camera. These are the bounds. That's how the smooth tracking is done, is with Cinemachine. So as long as we're in this box, it won't really move, right? That's good. Okay, but if we were to go, let's say 1,000, since this map is supposed to be massive, this game is supposed to be huge and seamless and all that, what happens if I get to like block 1,000, right? Especially since there's no chunking system, well, I would need to be teleported back to 0. That way it would be more fluid, because the further you go out from Unity, the more crazy everything gets. So we want to stay at 0 as much as possible. So just to test that system, I have it going to 10. And there we go. It just skipped me back to 0 now. So now I'm back to 0. But you may have noticed a little frame lag there. It's actually because oh, I didn't think about that. All the tools, we need to create a script to move all the tools too accordingly, which isn't that big of a deal. But anyways, what I was saying is that the little frame lag is caused because the camera velocity. So we're moving from here, right? We're on this corner, and then all of a sudden we snap to this end as we're moving forward. So what we need to do is calculate where the camera is when it first happens, and then put it back there, respective to the player. So that's what we have to do. Anyways, that's what I'm going to try to work on. And then, oh, that's a bug. Not supposed to fall through the floor. So we'll have to change that. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to have to wrap up this devlog. We've done a lot of work. I was able to fix all these in-between decoration tiles. There's still a little bit of some oddities here when trying to skip. You can kind of see the ground under there, but we're going to try to fix all that. I also have the prefabs, interactable prefabs on the tile map working, so now I can pick that up. Of course, the animation doesn't work yet, but that's going to be fixed in the next episode. We've got the day and night cycle going, and right now it's at a really fast speed, so don't worry, it's not going to be that fast. It's going to be much slower, but we can see how that looks. The caves are no longer orthographic, they're perspective. Once we get to a certain distance, I want the camera to snap back to 0, right? And we can see right here, I don't know if you guys can tell, it's small. Right here we see it's 50. We just hit 60, 70, 80. All right, about 90. Since I'm using Cinemachine, the procedural camera, it doesn't let me edit the values directly, so I couldn't set a little offset to it when I was jumping back and forth in between. So it would set the camera right in the middle. It would kind of mess it all up. So what I decided to do is have it through the user. So pretty much when you check your inventory, it now resets your position. So now we're at 0, and we can go all the way back, and now we're -97. So we can click I again, and now we're back to 0. So this way it'll have a kind of a floating origin, but we'll be able to interact with it. So maybe interacting with NPCs will set it off, or checking the inventory, things like that. That way we make sure that the world keeps getting reloaded, and that way we don't get too far. That way no visual glitches happen, and everything works the way it's supposed to. All right, well guys, thank you so much for watching this devlog. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and leave a comment on what you'd like to see in the next video. So next episode, I'm planning on fixing all the animations, re-importing them and applying them, and also doing a few more effects, working on the inventory, and a few more tweaks, probably working on the cave system, getting all the tiles set up properly. Be sure to comment what you'd like to see in the next episode, and I'll definitely try to put it in there. And subscribe if you haven't already. So if you'd like to follow the development of Ranger, then be sure to subscribe, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to check us out on our website, varigonstudios.com. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next devlog. See ya.